Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be discussing my YouTube silver play button. I'm pleased to report WR4K has now gained over 100,000 subscribers. So YouTube have verified my channel's analytics and they have applied a check mark next to my channel name, and they've also approved my channel for a silver play button, as you can see. So I'm going to talk to you about my channel, and I'm also going to explain the verification process and the process for applying for one of these silver play buttons, because it's not automatic as you might expect. So I started WR4K on the 22nd of February 2020, and since then I have made 342 videos. Those videos have gained over 178,000 hours of watch time, and they've also gained over 3.9 million views. So I want to take this opportunity to personally thank you for watching my content. So I'll show you the box that this silver play button comes in, and then I'll explain the processes. So this is the box. Now, although it says YouTube, the silver play buttons aren't actually shipped from YouTube. The silver play plaques are manufactured by a company called Society Awards in Oklahoma in America, and then they ship them on behalf of YouTube. So this actually came via UPS this morning from Oklahoma to Ireland, and I'll show you what the box contains. Inside, one gets a letter from YouTube, which is signed by Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube. And basically she is congratulating me for gaining over 100,000 subscribers and being presented with this Silver Creator Award. And one also gets this leaflet, which is from Society Awards. Now, if you have a team behind your channel, for example a production team, a video editor and a script writer, for example, you can also apply for additional silver play buttons so that each member of your team can be presented with a silver play button with your channel name. And of course there's an additional cost to that. The first one you get from YouTube free. And one also gets this card congratulating you for reaching a subscriber milestone from Society Awards, the manufacturer of the plaque. So it comes in a cardboard box and it's protected by a foam panel. It's in a plastic bag, and that does a good job of protecting it in shipping from any damage. So with regards to my channel, now I thought when a channel gains 100,000 subscribers, YouTube would automatically apply a verification check mark next to the channel name. That isn't actually what happens. The other thing I thought that happened automatically was I thought YouTube issued the silver play buttons to content creators automatically when their channel gains 100,000 subscribers, but that isn't the case either. So the first thing one has to do when your channel gains 100,000 subscribers is you need to log into your YouTube studio and then send a message to YouTube. And the first thing you do is you apply for verification of your channel, and this takes 1 to 2 weeks. You send a message to the customer service agent at YouTube and you say, my channel has gained 100,000 subscribers, I would like to apply for verification. So they then take 1 to 2 weeks, and what they do during the 1 to 2 weeks is they study your channel's analytics. So they look at the number of views your videos are getting, they look at the engagement of each video, and they also look at your subscribers to make sure they are active, that they're genuine subscribers and they have engaged with your content. So bearing in mind I have 342 videos produced since the 22nd of February 2020. This takes 1 to 2 weeks because the verification process is done manually. It's not done by AI, artificial intelligence. So a human has to actually physically look through the analytics and also look through the videos and also the engagement and look at the data. So after 2 weeks, my channel was approved and they verified my channel's analytics, and then they applied the check mark. So if you look next to the WR4K channel name, you'll see there's a tick, there's a check mark, and that shows that YouTube has verified my channel's analytics. So there's no real benefit to having a verified channel. It just tells people that YouTube has verified the analytics has been correct and that your channel has over 100,000 subscribers. Now, after doing that, after getting the verification check mark next to your channel name, you can then apply for a silver play button. Again, this isn't automatic, so what you have to do is again log into your studio on your channel, and then you send a message to the customer service agent and say, my channel is now 100k verified with a check mark, I would like to apply for a silver play button. and they then send your channel through for approval, and a human has to again look at your channel's analytics. They check that it's been verified with a check mark, and then providing there's no community guideline breaches, for example copyright strikes on your channel or any other strikes on your channel, they then put your channel name through for approval. And this actually takes up to 2 weeks. My channel was then approved, and then they send you an email with a code in it, and it's like a PIN number. So the unique code which they generate, you enter it on a Creator Awards website and then order the silver play button. You fill in your name and address. Now the first one is free, there's no charge for it, but if you order subsequent silver play buttons for the rest of your team, then they charge you per silver play button. And it actually took 2 months from the point of me applying for it with a special code to them shipping it from Society Awards in Oklahoma, shipping it to me today due to the high number of these silver play buttons they are manufacturing. So I'm pleased to finally have got it, and that's the process. The verification of the channel with a check mark isn't automatic, and getting a silver play button isn't automatic. The content creator has to manually apply for both individually, and they're two separate processes which are handled by two YouTube teams separately. So I'm pleased to have got both. I've now got the verification check mark next to WR4K, my channel name, and I've also got this silver play button, and I'm going to proudly hang it on my living room wall. So with regards to my channel, I've been making videos for 2 years and 3 months. 342 videos has been a massive body of work. On some days I even published 3 videos the same day, and in some weeks I published 7 videos in 7 days consecutively, so 1 video per day. Now usually with watch channels they output 1 to 2 videos per week, so to output 3 videos per day or 7 per week is a massive output. And that's the reason why my channel has gained so much, 178,000 hours of watch time and 3.9 million views on the 342 videos. Now in the future, it's now my plan to reduce my content output, because it's not sustainable to continue outputting at such a high rate of 7 videos per week, for example, or 3 videos the same day. I have done that when I've been under pressure. And one thing I want to explain is I was under a contract with Chronex.com to produce 45 videos in 12 months, and I actually did the 45 videos in 10 months earlier than expected. So I was outputting 3 to 4 Chronex videos per week, in addition to 1 to 2 AliExpress reviews or microbrand reviews. So in a week I was outputting 6 to 7 videos at one point during the Chronex 12-month contract. And I found the workload to be very intense, because I was committed under contract, which was legally binding, to have to produce 4 videos per month plus for Chronex, and I had to output those 3 to 4 videos per week, because in practice what was happening was Chronex was shipping me 3 to 4 watches every 2 weeks, so 8 watches per month. But so I got the 45 videos done in 10 months. And then I decided I wanted more control over my channel. I wanted to go back to year 1 rather than year 2, because I was able to choose when I was making the content rather than having to make the content when the watches arrived. Because with the Chronex watches, the watches used to arrive, I was under pressure to get the reviews done and get them returned to Cologne in Germany, because they needed the stock to sell it. And therefore it put me under pressure to output the content 3 to 4 per week for Chronex, and then an additional 1 to 2 for AliExpress or microbrands. Now I'm feeling more happy about the content output, because I choose the watches I review on my channel, and I also choose when I do the reviews. So for example, if I want to take a week off my channel, I can. I'm not under any contractual obligations, and for that reason I want to return to the year 1 outputs, which was less. I was producing 1 to 2 videos per week, which is what most watch channels do, and that's sustainable long term. It takes the pressure off, because the problem with reviewing so many watches, I've now done over 300, is it becomes monotonous, it becomes repetitive and boring, and part of that is due to the repetitive formats. I stick to a certain presentation style, and I just want to explain something about that. You'll notice in this video I'm not wearing a pair of white gloves, and I usually do. And I'm well aware that wearing white gloves appears pretentious, especially when handling a low-tier watch. For example, I've reviewed a Casio F91W, which is a €10 digital watch, and I appreciate that wearing a pair of gloves when handling a €10 watch looks pretentious, but there is a purpose to it. The reason why I wear white gloves is it prevents smudges and fingerprints on the polished surfaces of watches when handling them. The other thing it does is it helps my 4K camcorder autofocus on the watch, because sometimes when handling watches, the autofocus struggles to actually focus on the watch in 4K, so it focuses on the gloves, the textured finish of the glove, so it speeds up the autofocus, and therefore you get to see the watch in perfect definition. So it does serve a purpose. I'm aware that it appears pretentious. And the other thing I want to explain is the 300 watch reviews. I've covered everything from a €10 Casio F91W to a €20,000 Rolex Daytona. Now, when I started my channel, I had to make the decision between which style of presentation I use. There are two basic styles of watch channel presentation: the talking head style, or alternatively the talking hand style. So the talking head style is used by the Urban Gentry, Bark and Jack, Jenny L, and the majority of their content, they sit in front of the camera and you're looking at their head talking to you, and then they also show some macro shots and also shots of the watch. The other style is the watchfinder style, which is talking hands, and they've now changed that recently, but originally they just made content with a pair of hands handling the watch and then they talk to you. You never see the content creator's face. And when I used to watch watchfinders content, I actually thought the man talking, handling the watch, was the same person, but it's actually a team. There are two people. One man does the talking and one man actually handles the watch. It's not one person. I do it all myself. I handle the watch and talk. But I like the watchfinder style of presentation, and I decided to use the talking hand style rather than the talking head style. The main reason for that is when I'm looking at a watch review myself, I want to see 15 to 20 minutes of 100% watch focused content. I'm not interested in watching 10 to 15 minutes of a talking head talking to me about the watch and only 5 minutes of the watch. I want to see 15 to 20 minutes of 100% watch focused content. So that's the reason why in my 300 plus watch reviews, I have always used the same presentation style, which is talking hand style, rather than showing my face. And it's been a success because my channel has now gained over 100,000 subscribers, over 178,000 hours of watch time, and over 3.9 million views. So it is proof that the watchfinder style does work. One doesn't have to follow the presentation style of so many other channels and do the talking head style. The talking hand style can work. So I want to thank you all for supporting my channel and all your positive comments, and I want to thank you very much for your feedback, because since starting my channel in February 2020, I've gradually tried to make improvements to the sound quality and also the lighting, and even now I've just ordered 2 new LED lights to upgrade from 50 watt LED lights to 150 watts to make my content brighter. And when I started my channel, I actually started with 4 table lamps, and I used to switch on and off the table lamps to do the lume test, and I just used to use a microphone on top of my camera. And I now use a Rode Lapelier microphone on a headset, and I also upgraded to LED softboxes, which are 5500K, and which is pure white light. The other thing I did was I soundproofed my studio with soundproofing panels to improve the sound quality. So in the last 2 years and 3 months, I have gradually made upgrades, and I want you to understand something. When one starts a YouTube channel or watch review channel, one isn't automatically a videographer, a video editor, or a sound engineer. It takes time to learn through trial and error. For example, I had to experiment with several different microphones to get one that I like the sound of. I went through several different sets of lights to get the correct lighting, and then finally I installed soundproofing when I did some research, and I found out which soundproofing panels reduce echo and reverberation in a studio. So I've now got the soundproofing correct. But it's been a gradual process. It's taken 2 years and 3 months to get it to where it is. Now, lastly, I'll just explain something else about the supply of watches, and I've talked about this in some of my community posts, I've divulged more information than many other watch channels. They usually keep that private between themselves and the watch dealer or the watch brand that's supplying them with watches. When I started my channel, my biggest obstacle was getting hold of watches for review. I used to email brands and dealers asking for watches, and the majority of those brands ignored my emails, and the minority that did reply said no. So I used to buy watches from Amazon and AliExpress, and then I used to review the watch, and then I'd sell the watch at a loss on eBay, which isn't a sustainable business model. But then after this 6-month mark, my channel had gained over 10,000 subscribers, and AliExpress resellers, the AliExpress stores, were taking note of the high number of Pagani Design reviews that I'd done. At that stage, I had reviewed more Pagani Design watches than any other watch channel. So they began to offer me gifted Pagani Design watches. And I also began emailing the Pagani Design factory because they were also taking note of my reviews because I was reviewing so many of their watches. And I used to email them ideas, and I also used to give them feedback on my watches that I'd reviewed. And the Pagani Design factory began supplying me. Now, the thing I want to clarify is, from the very start of my channel, they were one of the first brands that supported my channel when I needed the support most. At a time when most resellers and most brands were ignoring my emails, Pagani Design used to reply and they used to offer me watches. And that's the reason why I've always supported Pagani Design, and I'm now returning the favour by continuing to review so many Pagani Design watches, even though my channel's grown. And ironically, the brands that used to ignore my emails, they're now contacting me and offering me pieces for review because my channel has gained over 100,000 subscribers and over 3.9 million views. So they didn't want to help my channel when it was below 10,000 subscribers, but they do want to support my channel now it's over 100,000 subscribers. And that's just the way the watch industry works. So that's really all I have to say regarding my silver play button and also my channel verification and my channel in general. So thank you very much for watching my content, and I hope you've enjoyed this discussion of my silver play button. Please feel free to post your own comments below the video. Thank you very much.